All right, and welcome back, guys. We've got another Dark Aether guide today. Essentially, we're gonna be going over Firebase Z and how it is really good for grinding Dark Aether solo. If you're a solo grinder, you should definitely be implementing this into your game. We're gonna go over every benefit of it and kind of the best current way to be grinding Dark Aether in Black Ops Cold War in its current state. Now, before we get into this, if you are looking for other players to play with and help the grind go a little long easier, we do have a Discord below where members can find other people to play with, grind for camos, multiplayer, anything you're looking for, Easter eggs. So check that below if you're looking for people to play with. And I've also got a link where you can buy Dark Aether shirts and other grinding apparel in the description if you want to check that as well. But now going into it, the main reason this map is so good, especially for solo play, if you saw my video earlier this week, is the elites are so easy on Firebase Z now that as a solo player, trying to get elites was really hard on the other map. Whereas now that we have this, you can get all of your elites done every single game without an issue, just because mimics count, the manglers count, and the bosses count for 3, so you'll pretty much get all 15 done the same game you unlock it. If you play multiplayer on Die Machine, you can do the same thing, but for solo players, these elite kills would take 3 or 4 games, whereas now you'll get it done every single game your first try playing on this map. But other than that, Die Machine is quicker, so if you don't need the elite kills, the amount of kills you get per minute on Die Machine on our other strategy that you can find in the description will actually be a little bit quicker at grinding this camo than what you will see in this video here. However, if you've been grinding Dark Aether for a while, you might just want to play on Firebase Z because it's something new, and it's not going to be super slow on this map. Whereas it is going to be a little bit slower than doing the Penthouse strat on Die Machine. It's still going to be a change of pace. So if you're kind of getting bored of the Dark Aether grind on Die Machine, you could definitely do the strategy I'm going to show you in this map, and it's going to be just a tad bit slower, but it might be able to keep you a little bit more motivated in your grind because you're not sitting on top of Penthouse for hours and hours on end. Now, obviously, the very first thing you have to do for the strat is get power on, which you don't know how to get power on. Essentially, you come to these little generators and you protect them, kill zombies around them, turns on power. You do it 3 different times, you get power on. I'm not going to really show a full guide on that because you should probably figure out how to turn power on. It's not too hard. But other than that, we're going to kind of go step by step and kind of the area you want to camp, the stuff you want to get, and whatnot. Now, this strategy isn't going to work for certain guns like snipers and rocket launchers. I do have a separate guide specifically for snipers and rocket launchers. Other than that, this guide will be completely fine, but you need to check out those 2 guides if you want to do those, because that you're probably going to play with multiple players. But even if you don't, I would recommend my original solo guide. If you're using snipers and rocket launchers, the training underneath Pack-a-Punch on Die Machine is still probably the best way to go about those if you are a solo player. But anything other than snipers and rocket launchers, this guide will work perfectly fine for and will be an amazing way to grind for it, especially if you don't have those elites done. If you don't have the elites done, this will be the single fastest way to get a gun done. And doing this strategy, you'll be able to get 1 gun done in a single game depending on how long you make it to and depending on if there's double weapon XP or not. And realistically, if you were to speed run this camo challenge and you're able to do the strats that I show here and in the other guides, you'd probably be able to get this in about 1.5 days of in-game time. Probably a little bit more if you're not perfectly down with the strats, but I think the average player can do it in about 3 days of in-game time. And if you're doing the strats completely optimally, it's definitely possible to get it done in about 1.5 days of in-game time with double weapon XP. But even if you can't get them down optimally, you're looking at about 3 days of in-game time to nail out this camo, which is pretty good for a mastery camo in Call of Duty. Now, what you want to do when you have power on, if you're here from the teleporter, you're going to want to walk this direction and go to the weapons lab. As you guys have seen, a lot of people use this for high rounds, but it is also very good for grinding camos. I've been testing out a few different places on this map for grinding camos, and in my opinion, I've had the most luck in this spot here. So you do not want to buy this door. If you end up buying that door, obviously zombies are going to come behind you, and this strategy isn't going to work near as well as what it is now. You want to have Ring of Fire in your class setup, and obviously you want to be using all of your Aether crystals to get all of that there. Now, as you can see, it's round 7. We were kind of doing the intro and stuff on the earlier round, so it wasn't getting here as quick as possible. But the quicker you get into this room, the quicker you're going to be able to unlock these camos, because you're going to be able to get the kills a lot faster once you get in here. So the quicker you can get power on, get set up, get in this room, you're good to go. You got to get power on because this door doesn't open till you get power. So once you get power on, the first thing you do is come here, sit here, go through a few rounds till you have enough to go out and buy kind of Pack-a-Punch, some more perks and whatnot. As you can see, I packed my weapon and then immediately got into this room. One good thing about this strat is at any point in time, you have your arsenal here where you can buy ammo and you can upgrade your gun to a better tier, so you don't have to run too far. Unfortunately, the perks are kind of far away. You got to go to spawn to that, but you are able to get ammo right over here in between rounds. But once you get to higher rounds, mimics drop ammo so often that it's not going to be too big of a deal. So essentially you just want to keep going here, and especially for these earlier rounds when you don't get overran too well, you definitely want to be prioritizing your entire time just killing zombies as quickly as you can in this area here. Now, like I said, there are safer places to camp and get headshots, but this has just got by far the quickest spawns on this map, and you really can't beat it with these spawns. And if you're going to try any other areas in this map, it's probably going to be slow to the point where you might as well just be playing Die Machine instead. This spot at least kind of competes with the Die Machine strats, although Penthouse is kind of king when it comes to just sheer headshots and critical kills and other stuff. But I mean, from this point, it's pretty simple. So all you're really doing, getting these kills, running here, buying ammo, getting all these headshots. Obviously, on the higher rounds when the mimics start spawning, you will get every single mimic kill that you need and whatnot. And we're eventually going to have to start training if you want to go to higher and higher rounds in this area. You can't just stay in this area indefinitely, because it does get pretty chaotic, especially on some of the higher rounds. Now, obviously, during the assault waves, you have to go and do this just to be able to keep power on and whatnot. It's kind of annoying. You can't just completely go through rounds without having any sort of interruption, but not too big of a deal. You should be able to get the assault wave done pretty quickly. So we're going to run here, take care of this, and then we're gonna head back to the spot. We might as well buy a few perks while we're here, because we're chilling around 13. Still no perks, but we'll be all right. Now, there are two different types of elemental mods you can use on your weapon. For higher rounds, I definitely recommend turn, because it's going to turn the zombies, and it's going to give you a little bit of time to kind of react and slow the horde just a tiny bit to be able to let you line up headshots. The unfortunate thing about turned is it is going to take away some of your kills. When a turned zombie gets a kill, it's not going to count as a headshot. You're not going to get the kill for that. That's why if you're going to put turned on your weapon, I wouldn't do it on lower rounds. Like about till round 20, you wouldn't really need it. On higher rounds is when you'd want to go ahead and start using turned and whatnot. But the other good thing about turned is it's going to help you kill the mimics a little bit quicker, which is always awesome. The other thing that I would recommend using, and this one's going to be a little bit better for the lower rounds, it's going to be Blast Furnace. This is going to allow you to kill the manglers a little bit quicker, and it is not going to stop you from getting any critical kills. All your critical kills are still going to work perfectly fine with it. And it's not going to take anything away in terms of that. But in terms of how long you want to stay here, it's however long you're comfortable. And obviously it's going to change depending on your weapon. And I mean, whenever you get to about round 30-ish is when things are going to get a little bit hectic. And obviously you can stay here depending on just how well and what weapon you're using and how well and how comfortable you're with the strat. But this is kind of time where you either want to start training, and I'll show you the training spot here in a minute, or you might want to start a different game. And now when you start a different game, you can either come back here and finish off this strat, but the most efficient thing to do would probably be go to Die Machine, and from Die Machine, do the Penthouse strat that we showed in the other video, because more than likely, at this point, you've finished all of your elite kills, so you no longer need to worry about that. So you can just go and get the quicker kill method on the top of Penthouse. But as you can see here, it is currently round 32. We had to use a Predator Missile because I got cornered. This is about as far as I'm going to be able to make it in this game. It's getting a little too hectic, and if you have abilities like the Predator Missile or other stuff like that, that's what you want to have, so when you get cornered, you're able to call it in and still be playing fine. Now, as you can see, we're currently on round 32, and we've got about 1,100 kills, which is almost half the amount of kills, critical kills you need to get the weapon gold. And since the elite kills are so easy on this map, you are not going to have to worry about anything else besides the critical kills. And what I would do at this point, if you want to continue playing this game and you don't want to back out and find a new game, train in this area right here around spawn. There's so many amazing things. You got the ammo crate there, you've got that to buy quick revives there, you got tombstone if you go down to buy it right there real quick. And up in this building up here, you have the ability to buy armor. I'll go ahead and point that out for you up here in this building, kind of against the back wall right there. We'll go ahead and just show it just in case. Right there, you can buy armor, refresh your armor in here. Now, I know what a lot of people are going to say is there are faster places on this map to train than right here. And when you're grinding for camos, it really doesn't matter. Yes, if you are trying to go for high rounds quickly and you're using the wonder weapon, there are quicker spots on this map to train. But in my opinion, this is the single safest spot to train. And when you're going for critical kills, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to kill the zombies quick enough for it to matter for any sort of type of spawn rate efficiency when you're training. So as you can see here, we're just killing them as quick as we can. But it doesn't matter. If they were spawning in any quicker than what they were now, it's not going to make our headshot per minute really go up at all, because we're not killing them as quick as what they're spawning in. So yeah, you can try training in other spots, but this is kind of the safest area, and in terms of just the amount of kills you're getting, it's not going to make any difference because you're not killing them as soon as they spawn in regardless. But yeah, that's kind of my full strategy for solo on this map. And like I said, this map is quicker overall solo than Firebase Z just because of the way the elite kills work. But as I was saying, if you're trying to get this as quick as possible, from start to finish, as absolute quick as you can possibly get it, what you want to do is get your elite kills on this map, and as soon as you get the elite kills, go run the penthouse strat that we showed in our other video linked in the description. But if you're just looking for something new that is not die machine because you've been grinding die machine a ton and you're just, you know, looking to try something that's not that and kind of move on to different things and change of pace, definitely an option, even though it is just a little bit slower, but definitely something you could do and have fun and grind weapons. As you can see here, we're currently sitting at half the amount of critical kills that we need, and as I was saying, you could easily get one entire gun done in one game. It just really depends on what you want to do. It's not going to be as efficient. As you can see here, now that we're not camping, we're not going to be getting the kills as quickly as what we were when we were camping that area. So if we wanted to finish this gun this game, we could, but we're going to be around round 50 or so to get those extra 1,200 kills that we currently need. Pretty much we'll end up finishing this gun right before the super sprinters start happening. And ultimately, if you're trying to get this as quick as possible, now would be a pretty good time to end your game and restart. Or instead of ending your game, just go back into this room over here, back into the weapon lab, and just continue to go until you go down and completely die out would be kind of the best option there. But yeah, that is kind of the full Dark Aether rundown for Firebase Z. And like I said, when new maps come out and when new strategies and new stuff is found, we're going to be covering more stuff like that. We've got tons of video on Dark Aether in terms of tips and whatnot. And like I said, if this video is not helping you and this strat's just not working for you and it's too hard, plenty other strats on this channel you can try that work very well and have helped tons of people get Dark Aether. And like I said, tons of videos revolving camos and other stuff in COD, zombie updates, and tons of stuff involving that. So subscribe if you want to see more content like that. But with that, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and leave this video here for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.